Okay everyone, apologies for the sitting down and chatting video. Not as nice as the walking around and chatting video, but the acoustics are a bit better in here than out there. Traffic noise is the bane of my existence. The bane. Oh, hello Batman. Oh, we meet again here in Gotham City. Not that bane, just the bane of my life. So I want to come clean. And many of you picked up on it, you know, like when I was at Smailham Castle in Scotland and I farted and I thought no one will notice that. And the viewers were like, oh, anus trumpet at 1 minute 64, 1 minute 22. So yeah, you guys noticed, and you guys noticing, oh, you smell it, you sound a bit bummed up, Charles. Have you got a cold? Well, at some point in the last month, I'm not going to go into it because I don't want to wind anyone up. But at some point in the last month, I woke up and I was like, I feel shit. And I was like, yeah, let me take a test. So I took it and I tested positive for COVID-19. And when I say I felt like shit, it was like a mixture of a moderate cold with a hangover. And for about 48 hours, I was fevery, shivery, cold, sore eyeballs, looking around, beginnings of the coof. And so after about 48 hours, I started to feel a lot better. And but you know, still on like night 3, I was like waking up in cold sweats in the bed, my body battling the Chinese cough and sneeze, but got through it as I knew I would. You're not going to figure out when I had COVID. I did, of course I did, isolate for 10 days, as the government tells us to. And I camouflaged myself with a mixture of live streams, which I still did, whilst heavily infected. A mixture of being in a YouTube ban for having opinions about the disease that I had. And also pre-recorded stuff, which I then staggered the release temporarily so that I could try and pretend like it was business as usual. But for me, though, I'd say, you know, 10 days is correct. You know, by the end of 10 days, I was back to normal. But I'll tell you what was the strangest aspect of having the coof. Was on like day 5 or day 6 of since I tested positive, a sudden 100% loss of taste and smell, like zero ability to smell or taste anything. You could literally part your butt cheeks, do a bad fart up a nostril, and I would smell alpine fresh air. Like, and now it was bizarre. You know, I smoke. And smoking, when you have no sense of taste or smell, you might as well be toking on a kettle, like a vape with no flavor. And then like your body starts to get after, and then I had zero smell or taste for 48 hours. And if you're a smoker, you know that when you finish smoking a cigarette, your fingers smell like an ashtray. But to me, it smelled like perfect fresh air, like beautiful. And on the day like 3 of no sense of smell or taste, then smoking again, you know, it didn't taste like tobacco. It tasted like a mixture of fresh cabbage and A4 office paper being burnt. Like, and I accidentally pressed pause there, like yeah, I don't need to swear so much. Sorry for cussing. So where was I? Yeah, things tasted weird. Food had no taste. Drinks had no taste. Smoking. On day 3 of the no taster smell, as I said, was like fresh cabbage mixed with burning office paper. So if you want to quit, the virus can do that to you. But, you know, as someone who's very much into my health, knowing about my health, I've become a lot healthier in the last few months. More fruit, more vegetables, and less chocolates and Haribo and sweeties and stuff like that. You know, just I think also you get older, your sense of desire, your sweet tooth kind of goes away. You've got like a bitter tooth, where you used to have a sweet tooth. Now, the feeling of it, you know, my immune system, I take medication, adalimumab, Humira, Amjevita, to suppress my immune system, and God damn it! For 2 years, I'm like, yeah, look how healthy I am. And you know, I take my medication. I'm a bad patient. I don't take my medication when I'm prescribed it, and I'll tell you why. You're meant to take it every 2 weeks, inject every 2 weeks. I take it when the symptoms flare up because I detest the idea of being immunosuppressed. Last time I took the Humira medication as prescribed, I started getting cysts on my back, subcutaneous cysts on my balls. I went to the doctor. I was like, there's a lump on my left testicle. So I went to the doctor. And if you're a bloke, a man, and you've been to the doctor about worried, you know, you play with your balls, and you're like, yeah, that's not meant to be there. So I went to the doctor, and I did it again. I stopped the video, so I went to the doctor. Why am I doing that? Let me figure out the button that I'm accidentally pressing. There isn't any button. My fingers are... Samsung. So the GP was like, yeah, you've got a lump on your left ball, on your left testicle. So I went to Salford Royal, and the guy smothered my balls in KY jelly. And he did the ultrasound. And he kind of had a look at my balls on the inside with ultrasound. And I said to him, as he was jellying up my testes, I said, dude, who's the nicest guy in hospital? And he goes, who? I said, the ultrasound guy. And he looked at me as if I just... Alrighty, I figured it out. My poor phone, Samsung, trying to not go right to the last bit of memory it had. And I kept forcing it through, and I had 1 kilobyte left of space. And yeah, I've emptied the recycle bin. So where was I? Yeah, so the man's scanning my balls, and I tell him, who's the nicest guy in hospital? He's like, I don't know. I was like, it's the ultrasound guy. And he looks at me as if I just threatened to punch his wife or something like. And I was like, okay, you're ultrasound, but you're not ultra sense of humor. Turns out the lump on my ball was a benign cyst. But fancy that. Someone said yesterday, they like the way I say disgusting. Horrible, horrible feeling. My left ball is about a third bigger than the right-hand side one. I've got lopsided balls. And that's because of this medication I take. And last time I took it religiously as well, I got a wart on my left foot. Like a proper, like, human papilloma wart, you know, where your body turns into wart. I did, what was it? What's that? Was it not Rent-A-Kill? What bazooka? I bazookaed the I used bazooka, and that sorted it out. But it took a while. And again, I was on medication when my immune system decided to take a holiday. And what snuck in? I thought I was immune from the Coof. And then I got it. And it is disconcerting when you've taken drugs that on purpose lower your immune system. And then you get hit up to the hilt. You get hit by probably the Delta or the Omicron variant. I'm hoping I had the Omicron, but maybe a bit early. Sometime in the last 6 weeks. I've not been hanging out with any South Africans. But yeah, you know, I have a choice. The choice is either I feel pain, like strong pain, from my Crohn's and my ankylosing spondylitis and my autoimmune conditions, or I have an artificially reduced immune system, and then I got the Coof. But you know what? I have obviously recovered fully from ye oldie Coof. I've got my senses of taste and smell back. It seems to be 100%. Cigarettes taste the same again now. I don't think I sound bunged up anymore. So, yeah, look, I'm not going to give any advice. I'm not going to say whether you should or you shouldn't take certain precautions. It's up to you, isn't it? It's up to you and your government. I guess it's not up to you in Germany or Austria. If you're in Germany or Austria, you have no choice. The government is going to hold you down. And they're going to make sure you've got that precautionary medication. Now, okay, I'm 41, I'm not overweight, don't have any heart or lung or any conditions. And I'm not going to say I was a lucky one. 99%. Am I allowed to say this? 99% of people in my condition probably had the exact same, experience. A few days of shit, losing the sense of smell and taste. And then you're okay? Can I say that? I'm going to risk it. If I get banned off YouTube for telling this story and giving my kind of generalized viewpoints, then this isn't the platform for me. I don't think I will, because I'm not giving any medical advice. Let's just be very safe here. If you're worried about COVID-19, seek official medical advice and governmental advice in your country. Don't be like me. Don't be sat there with sore enlarged balls. Where am I going with this? Yeah, for me though, let's talk a bit more about the loss of smell and taste. Honestly, like, I've never felt more like I was in a video game than those 48 hours where those senses did not exist, and it warps your brain so hard, it's as if they'd never existed. And, I've had my kids stay over, and it was just fucking weird, man. It was weird. Legal disclaimer. I had no visitors whilst I was isolating for 10 days. But it was weird, weird. And as someone who is obsessed with my health, and I know every pain, and I can tell what's going on, I was like, yeah. It felt different, guys. It felt different. I'll tell you, with zero agenda here. I don't give a shit. Honestly, I don't give a shit. No one's going to give me money. No government's going to take me off a blacklist. No fucking YouTube CEOs are going to say, oh, you're saying the right thing. Nobody gives a shit. But I have an overactive immune system, properly, 300 Spartan soldiers willing to give their lives to defend the corporal fucking safety of the Charlie. And they were stood down when the Coof came in. But I've been immunosuppressed before. I've had colds, I've had flu, I've had infections, and I'll tell you something. COVID felt different to it all. Now, usually for me, when I get a cold or a flu, I get about 24 hours of the kind of fevery, oh my god, I'm ill. With the Coof, I had 48 hours of, oh my god, I'm ill. And then another 3 or 4 days of a bit, sweaty sleeps, cold sweats, had the heating turned on, ultra high. It was like I was in a sauna. And luckily, I've got a bit of woolly hat. I'll never ever make fun of bald men or balding men for wearing woolly hats again. It's like a replacement for your hair. But, for me, what to take away from it, the loss of taste and smell. I looked up why the virus does that, and some weird. There's certain cells that connect to your olfactory neurons, and the Coof fucking goes wild in there. So yeah, I'm usually over it in a day or two, but for the Coof, because I was immunosuppressed, took about 8-9 days for me to feel back to 100%. Now my taste and smell, I reckon it's back at 100%, but nah, man. If I were elderly, if I were say 85, if I was 90 years old, even if I was in my mid-70s, I would have hated to have gone through that, because it was intense, and you can actually feel it psychosomatically, psychologically, all the beautiful Greek-derived ologies. I felt it, man. I felt the immune system fighting the virus. I felt my cells get turned into viral replication factories, I felt the immune system get fucking tricked. My immune system, which was already stood down from the immunosuppressant medication. So, what I'm trying to say is, it's kind of made me, a bit more moderate in my views, a bit more moderate. It's good to be moderate, good to moderate the self. And so, for a lot of people, and I say this, and don't fucking all freak out and say, calm down, don't hit unsubscribe, hear me out, and don't fucking go nuts just for me raising this. But there's a lot of, shall we say, things being attributed to the sheep dip. But the sheep dip, it's a tiny piece of the coof, isn't it? It's a little piece of it's not the full coof. They're not going to inject you with the full coof. It's bits of the coof. So if the bits of the coof can create, or people say, if people say that bits of the coof can create physiological problems, imagine the full coof, the full living bloody spiky little goblin-y green ball of cough and sneeze. What can that do to you? I was lucky. My lungs were not affected. I didn't have the difficult coughing. Didn't have any of that. No difficult coughing. I think I've ranted on long enough. Thank you very much for listening to me. Those were my symptoms, and that was my experience. Thanks.